Welcome back to Flying the Coop, and we are hoping that we keep you a little bit more awake today because we are going to be talking about some sleep. So hopefully we bring some energy into it and not yawn too much. But I am.
You're making me yawn.
This is just how we start
You know
off
how
there.
That works?
Every single listener there, you're welcome. Wake up. My name is
Get
Michael
up.
Bennett. This is Josh Cooperstein.
That's me.
And you are now listening to Flying the Coop. Josh, if they're not listening to us, where can they find us?
That's a great question. They can find us online. We are at flyingthecoop.com. We are also on social media platforms at Flying the Coop. If you're looking for us and you can't find us, go in the search bar. If it's that name you can't see, it's because it's spelled K-U-P-P.
Perfect. And hopefully we don't bore our listeners today because we are going to wake up and bring that energy and talk about that high energy topic, sleep. Now, it's something we all have to do. We do it every single night, and if we don't, we end up a little groggy. Some of us get a little bit more than others, but I love it. Josh, what do you think about sleep?
It's incredibly important for many, many reasons, and I can tell I'm a much different person when I sleep versus not sleep. As far as energy, cognitive ability, everything, hunger. I didn't sleep last night, but I am pumped up for Flying the Coop and pumped up for this topic.
And it is a really important topic. I think we all have our preferred amount of sleep, but what is your ideal? How much sleep would you love to have?
In a perfect world, 7 to 8. Realistically, I'll take anything over 6. It doesn't always happen, but what about you?
You got to grab what you can get at that point.
Honestly, at our age, you have to grab whatever you can get. And this is pre-kids for both of us. Imagine the lack of sleep you're going to get there. Sleep, what's that? Am I right?
That is true. I do worry about what having kids is like because I'm a little bit of a lighter sleeper, but I'm afraid my brain is going to turn me into a heavy sleeper. So I'm not going to hear that baby in the morning, night, midnight. It's going to be a challenge, and I feel bad for my partner there.
Do you know what I'm terrified of? Picking up the baby at 2 o'clock in the morning and falling asleep and crushing them by accident.
Oh, don't want to do that. Maybe
or just falling asleep in the chair while rocking them, and they're staring at me like, this idiot's my father? I have to get over that, and sooner than later.
Sooner than later. But for now, we get to enjoy at least a good minimum of sleep. So right now, I'm at about 7 hours of sleep. I get a pretty good night.
Seven's good. Seven's quality.
That's what my average. That's what my Fitbit on my wrist says I get every night.
Oh, you know that's accurate.
Of course. So I get.
It says I'm sleeping right now.
we gotta get your heart rate up a little bit.
Wake up.
And so about 7 hours of sleep is a good spot to be. If I had to pick my ideal amount of sleep, I'd probably call it about 9 hours. Because I get into a nice dreaming phase past that 7, 8 hour mark.
You don't think nine's too much? Because sometimes you can get too much.
You can, but I think that's the 10, 11, 12 mark.
Okay. I'm going to share a fun fact that I remember listening from a health course in college. For anybody out there that's a health nut that, don't fact check me on this. It's something that stuck with me. If you go consistently under 6 hours of sleep in a week, your brain functions equivalent to having a, I think, 0.1 blood alcohol level. So you're essentially drunk for going on a week schedule of under 6 hours. So call me shit-faced.
Don't sleep and drive.
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
So we're not saying that fact is accurate, but we want you to get a good night's sleep. And if that scares you into that, that is important. So, Josh.
Yes.
Work me into your nightly routine. How do you get into that perfect sleeping time position?
So that's the hardest thing for me is my nighttime routine. I have the same basic routine every night, which is take out my contacts, floss the teeth, brush the teeth, rinse it out, throw in my retainer, brush my hair. Obviously, I have to go to bed tip-top shape. And I need some sort of TV. I need King of Queens is always on. Shout out to King of Queens. It's always on, or throw The Office on. I need something that I don't have to think, don't have to, and just can doze off in the bed. Because the more I sit there and think about it, sleeping, the more I can't. But that ritual is the worst sometimes when you just want to go and fall asleep. Like I don't want to. Most nights between having to brush my teeth, do all that stuff, it's a good 5-10 minutes worth of process when I just want to go pass out. But it's necessary, and I know that, but it really can be annoying. But what about you?
My
Do you have
ritual,
anything like a go-to that you need?
oh, absolutely. There's a whole process to it. So my ritual starts around 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
Yeah, 9 p.m. So around 9 p.m., I am getting ready for bed. I'm watching TV downstairs, and then I have to decide in that 9 to 9:30 phase if I'm going to bed at the appropriate time, if I'm going to initiate the bedtime sequence. So around 9:30, between 9:30 and 10 o'clock, I make my way up into the bedroom. I declothe, and I brush my teeth, and I cover all my teeth. I'm good with there. If I have to wash my face and hands, I do that. And now I'm ready. This is if I choose not to shower, because I'm both a morning shower and a nighttime shower. I like being squeaky clean all times.
I gotta say the post shower sleep is pretty ideal.
It's good both ways with the shower, but now we're talking around 10 o'clock. That's when I'm cozying up into bed. Now, I like slipping under my covers, no lights turned on, and just going to bed. No lights, no sound, bedtime.
Nothing, just pure silence.
Yep, that's the ideal situation.
Okay, so now that we're living in situations in which we're both living with other people, that can throw your whole routine off.
Oh, for sure. And of course it gets thrown off every night.
Because, if you don't like any light, does your significant other enjoy, like, is she okay with no light, or does she need TV, or?
Yeah, we were talking about the ideals. Now here's the reality of it. The nice part is, and the most important part for sleeping, in my opinion, top 3, is the temperature in the room. And I'm very thankful we are both cold sleepers. So at 9 o'clock, my Nest thermostat drops down to 64 degrees at my sleep time temperature every night, and we are ready to go to bed, and it's nice and cool. In the wintertime, sometimes we'll crack open a window a little bit, and as long as it doesn't have that breeze, we love that cold temperature, get wrapped up in the blankets. We are polar bears when we sleep, and I am so thankful for that.
I'm right there with you on that. That cold, crisp air, especially a nice spring or fall or winter night. Oh, that, because then you get cuddled up in the blankets, and rather than sit there and sweat.
Yeah. You can always put on more blankets if you're cold. You can't take off your skin if you're too hot.
We have 4 blankets on the bed, so the hotter it is, the worse. So the colder it is, there's nothing. Waking up and just feeling nice and cold and refreshing.
So you like the cold, and you're with Alina and I, but is your significant other in bed like that cold?
Tara is 1,000% cold. She always ends up getting hot. I don't know how it's possible. I'll have that down to 65, very similar to you. Have it 65. I'll be frozen, and she'll wake up in a sweat. We have 4 blankets on the bed, so that probably doesn't help. But I don't get as hot anymore. But she definitely prefers sleeping in the cold. But we have the ceiling fan, and it's on off every 5 minutes. It's too cold. It's too hot. So her temperature control makes sleeping a lot harder for her.
A little bit more fickle on there. You talked about blankets. You have 4. Is that the right number for you? Do you use all 4 or all 4 for her?
Well, because it's the top sheet, which you have that, which is a thinner layer, which is nice, but it's too thin by itself. I need a nice thicker. So we have the top sheet, and then we have a furry, or not furry, but a very soft blanket as a middle, and then we have the comforter. So I was wrong. 3. I can't count. 3 blankets, including the comforter, that is great when it's cold, but when it's hot, and especially when it's hot and you can't do much about it because it's too cold to put the air on, but it's hot in the house. where you struggle a little bit.
I differ a little bit. I'm a little less blanket. So all year round, doesn't matter the temperature, I'm a 2-blanket person. I got a sheet underneath, and then I got a Sherpa on top. Now, this is a beautiful Sherpa. It has a nice fluffy bottom that touches my body and a nice soft top. So it's a constant warmth feel, not too hot, doesn't make you sweat. It's not like a flannel or anything.
It's cozy.
It's very cozy, but here's the problem with it. I sleep in a beautiful plush king-size bed. That wonderful, amazing Sherpa is queen size.
Yeah.
So in the middle of the night, I lose out on some blanket. Now, it's not that I'm dropping it or kicking it off. They're stolen in the middle of the night. Every night. And the most frustrating part is it's only the top half. Only the top half gets stolen. So my feet are nice and cozy and crisp and warm. I got one foot hanging out of the bed. But that top half, I got one shoulder blade exposed for half the night until I have to make my way scooting over into the middle section of that no man's land on that king-size bed.
Yeah, I know very well after a few years now that if I move over, I have to be very calculated in how I move in bed. If I roll over to plug my phone in or to grab something, I'll probably come back and Tara will be on my side of the bed. Or somehow we'll be on a bed, and rather than both of us having our space, this is her across the laying diagonal, and here's me tucked in the bed, usually falling off. And I have fallen off a few times.
Are you a mover while you sleep?
I'm usually okay, but I don't get uncomfortable very easily. Especially if I'm having trouble falling asleep, I'll go to this side, go to that side. I'm a side sleeper. Side almost fetal position. Like I need having, when Tara is home, when she worked night shift forever, I would have to have another pillow to kind of hold and kind of coddle. Having her there makes it easier, but like I need something. I can't just lay on my back. I can't lay on my. And there's nights when I'm tossing and turning where you try whatever. I need to stretch out, lay on and I know I'm not going to fall asleep like that. But I definitely am a big fan of the side sleep.
So side sleep is definitely the way to go. But before we jump into that, it looks like you've had a little bit of a situation where you've moved around a little bit too much in bed. You ever have a situation where you just kind of were moving too much?
Mostly anytime that I'm having basic insomnia. It could be from having caffeine too late at night. It could just be from I'll think I'm tired, and next thing you know, it's 2-3 hours of just going back and forth, not being able to fall asleep. Now, one time in particular, completely my fault. We were projected to have about a foot of snow. It was like as concrete as it's going to get. Like it's coming, and that doesn't really mean anything in the weather world because they could tell you it's sunny right now and it could be raining. But here I am thinking, there's no way I'm going to work tomorrow. There's no way it's going to snow. We're going to foot. I'm going to do my workout whenever I want. So at 11 o'clock, I drank a pre-workout. I did an insanity tape. Feeling good. Walk outside to see how much snow is on the ground. Not a single thing. And the entire forecast shifted to 0 snow, which meant I had work in 5 hours. And I had just finished a workout. And I was pumped up on the pre-workout. And here it is around midnight. And I got work at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. So I knew I was screwed. I don't think I went to bed till about 4. And I just tossing and turning. And there was just no way I was going to. It was completely my fault. But I just knew I was in deep crap from there. That's the worst. When you think you're going to have time to sleep and it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, when you already put that in the bank of your sleep bank and then you can't follow through on that. That's a tough one. But
how about you? I mean, do you find yourself or are you in bed and you don't move?
I'm a light sleeper. I'm a side sleeper, just like you. But the initial fall of sleep, I'm a hips down on the bed, body turned 45 degrees, hand on my chin, arm used as a pillow, and that is how I fall asleep.
Oh. You went on arms. And have you ever slept on your arm and woke up to this?
The dead arm?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how I did it, but a few weeks ago, I did it on both. And I woke up like this.
You're just dabbing everywhere.
I don't even know what a dab is.
But you were doing it.
I was dabbing.
That was the dead arm dab right there.
Whatever that is. I don't follow pop culture.
And so we have the right amount of blankets. We got the sleeping position, but we missed one critical spot of sleep. That's the pillow.
Oh, big pillow fan.
How many pillows? What type of pillow? Tell me about your pillows.
I typically prefer 2 pillows, and I would say my favorite is like a very, very one that attracts cold the best, almost like a down comforter, but for a pillow. The one you look at in a lot of hotels, where it's very shiny, silk-like material, but it's very cold. I love those. But I will say I have been turned on to the last 6 months almost like a Posturepedic kind of memory foam, memory foam, where your head kind of sinks into it, and it has a cooling technology. Man, where are we at in 2021, right?
It is pretty amazing.
Do you like pillows? Because I've heard there are people that they know who they are that either don't like pillows or one max. I've had people stay in my house and say, I don't need a pillow. I don't know what to do at that point. I'm kind of more shocked and scared than anything.
People all over the world you don't need the pillow. I feel like your arm is that perfect position to keep your head up in that nice, correct, straight spinal position.
Throw me right on the bed of pillows. Oh, you know what doesn't get enough credit? I will say they looked cool and they were comfortable. And just throw them all over the bed. Those pillow pets from years ago. I think that went out the door. But I used to just throw them all on the bed and
just lounge in your
a whole bed of
pile
pillows.
of pets.
The more pillows, the better. So when most people are like this, I'm like this. Love my pillows behind me.
Gotcha. You're constantly supported by your pillows.
Yep.
Big.
Who needs a sleep number bed? You just have pillows all the way up here.
Perfect. I have just the one, but my one is a special fancy one. Alina bought me an $80 pillow. It is one side completely fluffy and supportive. It has support all the way through. It has a nice support structure. And then you flip it over, it has a cooling structure to it. So even in these hot summer nights, it's relatively cool. And then so when you flip it over to one side, the other side starts cooling.
What's as cool as the other side of the pillow? Legitimately.
Yeah, and it really is. And it provides a nice neck structure. It's large enough. It's about a standard size pillow. It's not a king size bed pillow, but it's a large enough pillow where you can get your head on it and a little bit of extra room too. And it is fantastic. I'm a big fan of that pillow. I don't need pillow pets, but I need the right pillow for me. And that's the way it is. You make your bed in the morning?
Not as much as I should.
Only when company's coming over?
Yeah, Tara's a big fan of that. She'll do it. I help if I'm there.
Do you have decorative pillows?
Oh, yeah. Apparently they're called shams. I call them shazams because it sounds cooler. Those drive me absolutely nuts.
It is a sham.
It is a sham. Why am I trying to go to bed with 7 pillows that are not going to be needed? Then I have to then take off the bed, put over on the dresser, and then I want to go in. And then when we make the bed, when we change the sheets every week or two, it's got to be Tara needs everything tucked in properly so that when you come in, all the sheets are tucked. I feel like a mummy. I'm like this tucked in the bed.
Yeah, we're nothing on the bed. We make our bed every morning, but it's just 2 sheets. So you just whoosh, throw it back over, and so you're right on the bed.
Yeah, the problem is it has to be a whole process, and we definitely try to on most nights, but some nights depending on working from home now, I just get up in bed and go get my laptop, so I don't think about it.
Yeah, not too hard, but making sure you get to bed, having that right situation, it is probably one of the most safest and nicest spaces in your entire house because you spend so much time there. You spend there at least 5 hours in your cruddy nights of sleep to up to 8, 9 if you get those hours. But then while you're asleep, what kind of dreams do you have?
I gotta say, dreams. The concept of dreams freaks me out. That's honestly no lie. Truth time here. That's one of my issues falling asleep with no TV or anything to make me fall asleep. Is if I'm sitting there thinking, go to bed, go to bed, go to bed. I have this weird thought that goes through my mind that says, your eyes are closed, you're laying there, go, and this is incredibly morbid, go be unconscious. That freaks me out. The thought of going to bed and then having these dreams where you're going to think that they're pretty real. In many, especially if they're lucid, you're going to think they're pretty real. So I've had great dreams. I've had dreams where I won the World Wrestling Federation Championship and was best friends with all the wrestlers. And I've had horrible, horrible dreams in which spouse members or myself or somebody passed away, and then it just feels so real. I mean, what about you? What do you have any dreams that have stuck out or stayed with you? There's some dreams that will stay with you for a few days because they're either that great and shocking or they're so heartbreaking that you just wake up and you just want to hug the person because you feel like they were dead for those 5 hours.
So I'm not a big dreamer. I don't dream very often.
If you can dream it, you can do it.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have a lot of them, but when they do happen, they are kind of vivid. One of the biggest things for me, though, in my dreams, I can't see faces. I know who people are, but no one has a face.
That always drives me nuts. I don't necessarily, I can see faces, but for some reason, I get a lot dumber in my dreams, where I'll be at my house, and it will turn into someone else's, another completely random place, and I still treat it like it's my house, when I know darn well that's not my house. So the whole dream, I'll be considered like, oh yeah, this is my house, this is my room, and I'm like, why did I think that? It was not my house. And I don't know why. I could, anywhere I am, the environment will change 3 or 4 times, and it doesn't even ring a bell.
Yeah, it's interesting to me that everybody throughout their existence has always slept. It's something that everybody does, everyone has to do. If you're an insomniac out there and you're not getting enough sleep, it changes who you are. You told us about that health fact where if you're not getting enough sleep, you're literally changing who you are. You're basically drunk you while you sleep. So it's interesting that everyone has to sleep, but we really don't know much about sleep. We have done brain scans and things like that have changed, or you can see what happens to your brain, but we don't know really what's happening in there. So you may have those aspirational thoughts where you're winning WWE belts, but a lot of my dreams when I'm having them are just replaying a lot of information that I might have gotten throughout the day. I find myself, I get a lot of deja vu in my real life because I remember these things from my dreams, but I think it's my unconscious processing everything throughout the entire day. But I also think there's some meaning in those dreams too.
There's enough deja vu out there that there has to be some kind of hidden meaning. I'm not a big believer in that stuff, but it happens enough where there are things that I literally can tell you what's happening next of deja vu, and it's scary.
It really can be scary, but your brain is a powerful tool that we don't know very little about.
Do you have any specific things that happen in your dreams that either annoy you or do you really like? You said about not seeing faces. So I'll give you an example. For me, a consistent theme of a lot of my dreams is running or being chased or just running somewhere to get something and just going nowhere. Like, we all knew I was pretty slow back in the day running and wrestling, but like this is a whole new slow where you're running either something, you're trying to chase after something or get away from something and you just can't move. I don't know what that means. Any psychiatrists out there, don't comment me, but
we need some dream interpreters out here. Like, what does that mean? Like, if I were to say something, maybe it's that you're running away from something, but you can't ever escape it. Like, maybe it is, your old fitness level, because every day you work to move away from being that heavier, bigger person that you were. And that's the struggle that you have, is that you're running slowly because you used to be slow. and you are constantly in that challenge and rat race. Like, could that be a dream interpretation of it?
No, but maybe it could just be I'm always chasing greatness. And it's a slow path to get there. It's not overnight. I just thought about that right now.
Yeah, it could be.
That's improv.
It could be the journey that you take on there. And it takes a long time. You might have that dream tonight. You might be thinking about that, and really it's interpreting flying the Kupp podcast, or doing the new fitness channel that you just started up. It's a journey. It's a process. And maybe that is what that dream is.
Have you ever had any lucid dreams where you're so that you know that you're dreaming?
I love lucid dreams. Lucid dreams are so much fun. So for any of our listeners that don't know what lucid dreams are dreams where you realize that you're dreaming.
Mm-hmm.
So I typically have those lucid dreams when I hit the 8-9 hour mark of my sleep, because right around there the sun comes in, wakes me up just a little bit, but I can realize that I can go back to bed. So I create a dream for myself. In a lucid dream world, I get to create whatever I want. So if I wanted to go on the Wildwood boardwalk and ride the log flume again, I do that. If I want to start climbing Hawk Mountain, I go do that.
You're a living Inception.
A little bit, but I still don't see people's faces.
I could see some of the stuff that you do in real life. I can only imagine what you make up in your dreams.
It's less creative. It's mostly stuff that I've done.
Your creativity, a whole room dedicated to 700 balloons. That happened in real life. I can only imagine what you create in a dream.
Well, we try and make dreams into reality, right?
That's true. We do.
So we do our best to make dreams out of reality, and that's what we're doing with our podcast here today. When we're doing Flying the Kupp, we're hoping that we're not putting you asleep, and we're waking you up and pushing you to strive towards our dreams, because we're really just two guys talking about our life, telling us our sleep schedule, and a little bit about our dreams. But we hope you continue to join us on this journey as we talk a little bit about us, and we continue as we are Flying the Kupp. That was pretty good. Anyone that's still listening now, we hope that you continue to listen and follow us on our social media, which is?
We are at Flying the Kupp on Facebook and Instagram. Also on YouTube, we are at Flying the Kupp. You can find us, all of our information and videos and more information on social media on our website at flyingthekupp.com. And also, we are also available on Spotify. Check us out there. Download the show, like and subscribe there for all the recent, if you want the audio version, if you're driving to work or you want the audio version. But you can always find the video version on YouTube as well, or on our website at flyingthekupp.com.
All right. That's sleep. That's a wrap. Let's go to bed.